All right. Dakota Santana-Grace graduated from the Webb School of California in 2011, and to call him an involved member of the Webb community would be an atrocious understatement. Not only was Dakota active within Miss Plumley's theater program, where he played a range of roles, from a carrot farmer heir turned Bolshevik revolutionary to an early representation of a queer character on Webb's stage as one of a character's two dads, and then played Jesus in that same show. He was also a Peccary Scholar, a Rogers Scholar, and founded Webb's highly competitive debate program, where he was known for getting the classic strawberry lemonade from Starbucks before their early morning competitions out in the desert. From Webb, Dakota went on to study at Harvard University, and after graduating in 2016, worked at the Boston Consulting Group, where he continues to work today. In the same way that Dakota was a leader at Webb, he would continue to make a difference at BCG, serving as a leader in the transportation and logistics space. He works with large retailers and parcel carriers to improve package delivery. In addition to this, Dakota serves as the Northeast System Lead for Pride, BCG's LGBTQ+ group. He works with 4 of BCG's largest offices and their leadership teams to build LGBTQ+ support in corporate America, ultimately striving to create an inclusive culture where all employees are able to thrive. While Dakota is off doing big things, he still never got too far from home. He served as Webb's alumni regional representative in Boston, but now lives in Washington, D.C., where he is currently a member of Webb's Alumni Council and serves as the co-chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Subcommittee. It is my honor to introduce to you today the Webb School of California's 2021 commencement speaker, Dakota Santana-Grace.
Hello. Greetings to all of you who are here live tonight, and also to those of you who are here equally as much, but online. To say that it has been quite a year would be an understatement. And we did not know what this long-awaited day would come in, what form it would come in. Graduates, this long-awaited day has come in this form, and it is your day. Congratulations. Pause right now, all of you. Breathe in this moment and look around you. Look at your classmates, your faculty, your family. It is an absolutely immense privilege to address you all tonight. This afternoon, I went for an ill-advised run in the hills under 90-degree sun, forgetting what that meant in California. And while I was absolutely dehydrated by the end, I did take the opportunity to reflect on the times that I had here. The plays that I performed in, the Peccary trips, the debates. But more important than what I did here, I thought about the people here, both educators and friends who shaped me and continue to shape me to this day. Now, the last time I took this podium and was introduced, it was 2011. I was deeply in the closet. Taylor Swift had not released Red, 1989, Reputation, Lover, Folklore, or Evermore, or re-released Fearless. Olivia Rodrigo and TikTok were unknown. Facebook was still cool and not the domain of our parents. And Grey's Anatomy was in season 8, now going into season 18. My advice that day, using an iPhone analogy, was that all of us have an opportunity and an obligation to ourselves to chart our own course. And while I was hiking and reflecting on what I wish I had known then, I have 2 different pieces of advice today. The first one is, find the humility to accept that you are a we. And 2, find the bravery to come out. Let's start with the first lesson, and we'll travel back to September 2011. I was a freshman at Harvard, and one morning I woke up and quickly found myself collapsed on the floor. I don't remember anything after that because I was unconscious, but I would then wake up finding myself strapped down to a stretcher, being carried down a 4-story walk-up. In the months that followed, school became increasingly difficult as we worked to treat the seizure disorder. And in those months, I would ultimately decide to leave school without even completing my first semester. The things that went through my mind in November, December of 2011, Who was I? Would I finish school? I suddenly went from being this independent college student who had just recently come out back to being a closeted boy living on Briarcroft in Claremont, back home with my parents. Now, I'll skip a good chunk of the story. It has a happy ending, and I would ultimately graduate. But that happy ending has everything and absolutely nothing to do with me. It was firmly a we. From that first seizure, I woke to my still best friend and Webb alumni, Elena Skaka-Kurz, standing guard over my bed. A Webb dean called a friend at Harvard, and I soon found the freshman dean standing in my hospital room, a man who would become a lifelong mentor. And then when I ultimately decided to take leave and return home, I was terrified. Those who know me can hardly imagine me sitting idle for a full year. But once more, the kindness of others lifted me up. Doc Lofgren would hire me on to the museum staff for the year. Stephanie Plumley would bring me aboard as her stage manager, and she would step up to help me come out to my parents. Here I was in this moment, fully insufficient to independently chart this time forward. But in that time, I learned something that made that seizure worth it. I learned that I is an illusion, and I am at my best when I accept I am a we. Finding that humility makes it possible to find your docs, your Miss Plumleys and Elenas. But more importantly, finding that humility allows you to grab on to the extended helping hand. Now, a decade later, at the height of the pandemic, I'd almost forgotten this lesson. Living alone in Boston, depressed, I waited too long to grasp on to the helping hands I needed. Fortunately, in life, there will always be those people, no matter how dumb you are, and no matter how much you ignore their help, who stand by waiting. And once more, I realized I needed to grab on. A family welcomed me into their home for months, so I wasn't alone. My mom probably answered 18 daily calls because I was so bored and had no one to talk to. And that same Elena actually would help me start a new life in DC. Bottom line, whether it's the extremes that bookended 2011 to 2020-21 or a regular day, I encourage you all to think about who is a part of your we. And then, as Shakespeare said in Hamlet, through Polonius, his fool, those friends thou hast in their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. Second lesson is to come out. 10 years ago, I stood at this podium. I'd come out to myself and to select friends, but was afraid to be out at school, wrongly believing I could have lost the opportunity to speak, something I know to be false today. I brought as much of myself to this podium as I could, and today I get to bring my full self, and I'm humbled to speak to you as an out man in the middle of Pride Month. Now, coming out is a weird process. It's a process where the beliefs you have about yourself, core beliefs, and the expectations others have for you are challenged. It is a process that requires reevaluating who you are at the core and finding a truer expression of yourself. And when we do this, we become brighter. We lift ourselves and those around us up. It's not easy, it is scary, and there can be unfair consequences for it. But those are far outweighed many times and most times by the joy and opportunities from being yourself. Now, graduates, I'm sure at this point you're saying, why am I telling you this? Why am I telling everyone here to come out? What does this have to do with all of you? It has everything to do with all of you. Today, you're stepping into the alumni community and towards college. And the next 4 years will fill you with doubt, confusion, discovery, and excitement. The finish line you have for the years ahead will inevitably move. Your academic passions will evolve beyond what you initially ever imagined you wanted to study. Your ambitions will change from what you walked in as you learn about new careers and new frontiers. And your friendships and love lives will both hoist you up and put you through memorable and formative turbulence. And my advice to you is to not fight this. Come out. Come out about your evolving view of who you want to be. Find that thing that makes you come alive and be willing to surprise yourselves. You all today, we call it commencement because it is the starting line. You can run straight, missing the opportunity to learn more about yourselves, or you can come out, accept the detours, move the finish line, and I implore you to do the latter. When you do this, you will find the people who lift you up best, and you them. And this is a lifelong journey coming out. It has little to do with being gay and everything to do with becoming authentic leaders, something that we so desperately need as a world. And so with this, I leave you with two asks and a final quote. First, today, thank someone who helped get you here today. Embrace the we. And two, don't do it right now, but afterwards, text yourself something that you want to explore in your first semester of college, something that you're interested in, and look at that when you go on campus in the fall. Get in the habit of doing these things regularly. Now, for those who know me, I would be absolutely remiss if I had this opportunity to speak and did not close with anything other than a Grey's Anatomy quote. Christina Yang said in season 10 of Grey's Anatomy, "Sometimes the future changes, quickly and completely, and we're left only with the choice of what to do next. We can choose to be afraid of it, to stand there trembling, not moving, assuming the worst can happen. Or we can step forward into the unknown and assume it will be brilliant." Congratulations, class of 2021, and on behalf of the Alumni Council, welcome to the alumni community.